Hey there, I'm Tony DeCopel. This is The Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, these, a high school basketball team faced with a problem. It didn't actually win the championship last season. See how the players handled it with sportsmanship. Also, a young boy who made history as a hospital's youngest stem cell donor, saving a life that means the world to him. And we'll also go to a week-long celebration in Texas, where the tiniest critters are honored for growing big. Plus, a library is talking not allowed there. No, it's not. Shushing is not as well. Why do they prefer laughs to silence? We'll tell you. Also, David Begnaud has a double header for us. One about a high schooler from Connecticut who beat the odds to play baseball. The other on America's pastime and how it brought a couple together and their community as well. All of that and more. Heartwarming news. You know what you're watching. The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift, the show you lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we begin with a question. What would you do if you won something unfairly? Steve Hartman now introduces us to a team that faced that exact problem and answered it by doing the right thing.
All right, girls, everybody in the middle.
The Academy High School girls basketball team in Oklahoma City returned to the court this week. Their first practice since last year's division championship, where they hit a buzzer beater that both ended the game and started it all.
The whole season was building up to that moment.
And it was like one of the best feelings.
And it was really exciting just to see our hard work finally pay off.
It was the team's first championship ever. Or was it? Yeah. Coach Brendan King.
As you're celebrating, there's a part of you that's wondering.
Right. As soon as I walked out of the locker room, my stomach kind of turned into knots, and I said, I'm going to need to know if we really won this game or not.
So, what he did that night, and again this week at our request, was go home and watch the game tape. At one point, there had been some confusion about the scoreboard, so just to be sure, he recounted every basket and discovered his team actually lost.
It really tore me to pieces. It really did.
But technically, it didn't matter.
League rules say once a game is done, the score is the score. There's no changing it. But Coach King decided to tell his team anyway. And when they heard what had happened, the consensus was unanimous.
It would have felt wrong, I think, to have taken the trophy regardless.
Yeah.
It was a really good teaching moment for us to just be like, this is not the whole point.
Which is why this Academy team made the unprecedented decision to appeal their own crowning victory, ask it be taken away and awarded to their competition, Apache High School. The league agreed, and Coach King hand-delivered the championship plaque.
Just really special that he came out and did that.
Not everyone would have done that.
Apache coach Amy Merriweather says her team is glad to have the title, but even happier for the hope that came with it.
He showed us, there are still good people in this world. It's something we'll always remember.
Champions, all. Steve Hartman on the road in Oklahoma City.
Coming up, meet a history-making boy who's the youngest person to become a stem cell donor at a major hospital. He saved a patient's life, and the reason he did so hits close to home. As we get older and older still, it's nice to have a little help around the house or just a friend or two to socialize with. The World Health Organization says loneliness and social isolation are key risk factors for mental health problems later in life. But one agency in New York City is trying to help by giving people over 60 a personal pal. Here's Jennifer Bishram from CBS News, New York.
Whoa, you made this dress?
She brought her heritage to New York from Haiti in the 1960s and wove it into the city's fabric.
I used to love dresses and they were expensive, so I went to school to learn how to do it.
Now at 89, Anna Boulay, who's also a cancer survivor, lives alone in her Queens apartment.
How are you managing at 89?
I do everything. I cook, I clean, I go to the supermarket, I go to the pharmacy.
Boulay says she gets some help from an aide, but it's her 29-year-old friend, So Young, who keeps her sharp.
Hi, how are you?
With regular home visits.
Hi, good to see you.
And video chats.
Oh, you look nice. We talk about everything. We ate together. We ordered Chinese food. She helped me with my computer, with my cell phone.
The two are part of the city's Friendly Visiting Program, which matches homebound seniors 60 and over with younger volunteers to help lessen their social isolation.
It's amazing the difference that it has made, like for brain health, physical health, their mental health, and for them to have somebody to visit them, to hear their stories, to see them. It gives them a reason to get dressed in the morning.
According to the World Health Organization, loneliness and social isolation are key risk factors for mental health conditions later in life. Doctors who study older adults and their cognitive health say social connections help.
Loneliness and social isolation start to shrink parts of our brain. And we know that by shrinking, when we shrink parts of our brain, it's no longer, they're gone forever. We can't build up that muscle.
Social intergenerational events like this one, organized by Life Story Club at Brooklyn's Prospect Park, is just one example.
Well, we've talked about personal history, we've talked about family and the importance of just what her grandkids are growing up with today.
We had a real family.
In some cases, social prescriptions are ordered.
The patients who are prescribed to us are likely to have registered as being depressed, or their social circle may have changed, so they may have just recently lost a loved one, usually a partner or a close sibling that they were living with.
67-year-old Yvonne Taylor of Harlem was referred to the program.
I love hearing her stories about her upbringing and her family. And, you know, it makes you realize that we're all different, but in some ways we're all the same.
She says the guided storytelling conversations have made all the difference.
I'm not as depressed as I was.
Back in Queens, Boulay is also sharing some wisdom.
Just eat the right food, don't eat too much salt, not too much grease, and keep moving. Keep asking questions.
Keeping the mind healthy and connected through conversation and company. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
We now introduce you to a boy who became the youngest person in history to donate stem cells at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles. And the patient he saved, a very important person in his life. Here's Rena Nakano from CBS News, Los Angeles.
There's nothing Nick Mondek loves more than being a dad.
There it is.
But in 2022, an aggressive form of acute myeloid leukemia put the then 45-year-old on his deathbed.
I'm thinking about my sons, and I'm thinking about how I'm not ready to move on yet.
Thankfully, his older brother Dave was a match. Several rounds of chemo erased Mondek's cancerous cells and replaced them with his brother's. By the end of the year, he was able to return to work as an anesthesiologist.
It was an incredible feeling just to have, someone that you've idolized your whole life come and save you.
Unfortunately, remission didn't last long.
April of this year, it came back ferociously fast.
The cancer had found a way around his brother's stem cells. With Dave no longer an option, Mondek searched for cousins in the National Bone Marrow Registry, but no donor match. Desperation got him thinking.
I had a friend who had lymphoma, and his 19-year-old son donated to him. So I started thinking, could my own son do that for me? But he's only 9 and he's 70 pounds.
Tests revealed that his older son Stevie was a 50% match, enough to confuse the current cancer cells and replace it.
I just told him we were looking for other donors because I didn't want him to feel pressured, feel like this is something he has to do. And I just left it up to him.
Stevie tells me he didn't even have to think for a second. The answer was obvious.
I wanted to help him get rid of his cancer, and I wasn't nervous at all.
In July, Stevie made history, becoming the youngest stem cell donor ever at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center.
Good job!
The transplant was a success. Tests show 99% of Mondek's body is now made up of Stevie's healthy cells.
He donated 6 million stem cells and saved my life. So it's not just an honor to call him my son. I'm proud to call him my hero.
This whole experience has had a profound impact on Stevie.
Nice.
I asked him what he wants to be when he grows up.
I want to be a doctor in baseball.
A sports doctor. How perfect.
He's great at baseball, and he's already on his way to becoming a doctor. He already saved one patient, so he could save more.
In Torrance, I'm Rena Nakano, CBS LA.
Coming up, we take you to a library that's unlike most others. Talking is allowed, shushing is not. Plus, a couple who ensured their grandkids could experience America's pastime, how their baseball field ended up touching even more lives and raising more money for a cause close to their hearts.
There's not a tournament that goes by that I don't have people come up and talk to me about their grandmother or their mother or their father or their sister, brother, somebody like that that has Alzheimer's. And it leaves a lasting impression. My goal is to raise $1 million for Alzheimer's research a year.
Here at the Uplift, as I hope you know by now, we focus on heartwarming news, the good in people, and the lighter side of life. Well, this next story might be light, but it's all about being heavy in another way. Here's Omar Villafranca.
Squirrels love to snack. With cold weather on the way, Texas squirrels are working on their winter bodies for a nutty competition called Fat Squirrel Week, where chunky is hunky.
How has the response been to this?
The public is eating it up, literally.
Park Ranger Carol Ann Brannon came up with the idea based on Alaska's Fat Bear Week, a battle to crown the bulkiest bear of the far north. Her competition would pit the rotund rodents from several parks in a bracket-style competition.
So we actually started with 16. It was 8 matchups, kind of like a March Madness.
Competitors like Big Red and Nutty Crockett battled it out. This week, voters throughout the Lone Star State cast their ballots online, and it has now come down to the final 2. Chunkosaurus Rex from Dinosaur Valley versus Chunk Norris of Fort Richardson Park.
What does the fattest squirrel get?
Bragging rights, first of all.
Yeah.
They get to survive winter, always a good thing.
Are they eating just nuts and berries? Are they stacking the deck here like they're not picking up some cheese puffs or something like that? Because those are some big squirrels.
We're hoping that these are all naturally fed.
Okay. The plumpest victor probably won't pose for pictures, but Brennan says the state parks are the real winners who will eat up the attention. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Glen Rose, Texas.
The most common word you hear at the library isn't a word at all. It's more like a sound. Shh. But the library in Morgan Hill, California decided that talking is not only allowed, it's encouraged, and shushing is not. Here's Itai Had with the story.
You know the sound, that unmistakable that echoed through libraries for generations. But here in Morgan Hill, California, they decided to give shushing the silent treatment. For 4-year-old Luna and her little brother Jude, that means the most exciting story in the library isn't bound in hardback. It's at the bottom of a slide. Their nanny, Tiffany Negron, says this is the first library where the only thing hushed is her stress.
They could be as loud as they want, and we get smiles instead of being shushed.
Once upon a time, silence was golden in libraries.
No.
Now noise is part of the plot.
Do you want me to hold your hand?
The real page turner is a new play space with board games.
You can try looking for the animal.
Scavenger hunts.
Look inside.
Even a mini observatory complete with telescopes and stars.
Oh, nice.
And Morgan Hill isn't alone. Libraries from California to Florida to Kentucky are checking out the same idea. That community grows louder when you let people talk. Is it even a library if you don't get shushed?
Oh, absolutely.
Jennifer Weeks is the Santa Clara County librarian. She says libraries have always adapted, and this is just the latest chapter in trying to keep up with the times.
You don't learn how to be a good reader by sitting still.
A 2020 study found that installing play and learn spaces in Philadelphia libraries boosted attendance at children's programs by nearly 190%. In Morgan Hill, attendance has seen a 20% jump in just the last 4 months.
Which one's that one?
For Luna and Jude, it's been a game changer. They've gone from reading about 10 books a week to nearly 30. Because around here, the only thing being shelved is the old idea of what a library should be. Itai Hot, CBS News, Morgan Hill, California.
Coming up, David Begnaud introduces us to a high school athlete from Connecticut and a couple in their 60s from Arkansas, all of them influenced by one sport, baseball. Their stories up next. David Begnaud now has a doubleheader for us, 2 stories centered around America's pastime. Here's David showing how baseball makes an impact on people's lives.
The pop of that catcher's mitt tells you the girl pitching is serious. She's 17-year-old Connecticut native Jenica Matos, ace pitcher for the Cheshire High School Rams. Just listen to how her coach describes her.
Resilient, gritty, hardworking, kind.
But there is one thing that makes Jenica's story that much more incredible. She's legally blind.
It started when I was about 10 or 11. Yeah, I told my parents that, while playing softball, the ball kind of looked fuzzy, it wasn't as clear as it used to be.
Jenica was diagnosed with Stargardt disease. It is a rare genetic disorder that robbed her of her central vision.
When I was younger, I was able to see the people's faces, if I was in the dugout and looking out on the field, and now I can't at all.
So how does she do it? Well, Jenica is able to see contrast. So her catcher will wear a black mitt and a white chest protector to give her something to aim for. After that,
it's kind of muscle memory now. Me and my pitching coach, we work a lot on muscle memory and knowing when I release the ball where it's going to go.
So it takes a special mindset and some bravery to get into that pitcher's circle.
I've always been determined that I would make it work. Some days are harder than other days where I want to give up, but I don't because I do love the sport and it's my passion.
That passion has driven success. The Rams are the Connecticut State softball champions. And pitching when that title was clinched, Jenica Matos, who finished it off with what else?
It was a strikeout look game. I think back and I look at the video of the last out, and it's just it's truly amazing.
She is laser focused. That Jenica is next headed to St. John's University on a full scholarship, we might add. Rooting you on, Jenica. From Connecticut to Arkansas, I want to introduce you to a good man who had a good idea and turned it into a field of dreams. This love story, starring Sam and Pat Peroni, took center stage on a baseball diamond. Their love for each other, their grandchildren, and America's pastime would come together in a way they never expected. It started 10 years ago when Sam built a field for his 2 grandchildren, never imagining what it would grow up to mean.
We had this pasture on the side of our house, and I was looking at it one day, and I went inside and I said, "You know, Pat, we could build a baseball field on that."
And so they did, together. They watched their grandchildren spend hours under the Northwest Arkansas sun chasing baseballs and childhood dreams. A field built for love was going to become a field full of life.
If you build it, they will come. And they started coming.
Word spread because Sam didn't just build a rinky-dink baseball practice field. He built a regulation Little League diamond, complete with personal touches.
We have 1 hitter at a time.
As the field was blossoming, Sam and Pat's world was changing. At just 62 years old, Pat was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
It's such an awful disease because it not only kills the patient, it also takes away their dignity, and it robs them of their most precious thing, and that's memories.
Pat needed round-the-clock care and eventually moved into a full-time care facility.
You could see the names of the teams.
For Sam, he turned his heartbreak into purpose. He transformed the baseball park they built together into a field of dreams. Every summer, children gather for a tournament raising money for Alzheimer's research.
The very first official tournament, I think we raised $5,000. And then every year we've set a goal higher, and every year we've surpassed the goal.
This year's tournament carried an even deeper meaning because in May, Pat passed away.
There's not a tournament that goes by that I don't have people come up and talk to me about their grandmother or their mother or their father or their sister, brother, somebody like that that has Alzheimer's. And it leaves a lasting impression.
Sam's dream is to take his Field of Dreams tournament nationwide, raising hope for families through the Patricia Ann Peroni Field of Dreams Foundation.
My goal is to raise $1 million for Alzheimer's research a year.
At 77 years old, Sam still finds enjoyment in the simplest moments.
You catching it good?
Yeah, I'm catching it pretty good.
Good, good. Well, listen, you go have a good practice.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
And you come back anytime you want.
My friends, in the end, this is not a baseball story. This is a love story of a husband and wife, of grandchildren and their grandfather, and of a game that gave them all a way to keep loving after loss.
That's our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, go ahead and press play again. Those reruns still totally free. I'm going to go find some good news this way. See you next.